Hey there, how are you doing? I'm Daryl Ballard, and in this video, we're going to talk about the second in our series of essential online business tools. We're going to talk about funnel builders, okay? But just before we get started with that, a little housekeeping item that we have to do. If you watched our last video, you know that we had a little bit of a contest, and we need to announce the winner. We did a random drawing for those who commented and liked and shared the video. And it was CB who won that. CEEBEE. So just so you know, we're going to be doing this every so often, probably once a month. Not necessarily the consultation like we were doing this last time, but some item that will be beneficial or training that will be beneficial for you and your business. So if that's something you're interested in participating in, consider subscribing and clicking the notification bell so that you know when that happens. Okay? So let's move on to talking about ClickFunnels. Like I said, we're talking about the essential tools for building your business. There's 3 parts to that we're doing 3 videos on, and it's part of a larger series on how to start your own successful 6-figure online business. Okay, so let's talk about funnel builders. What is a funnel? What is a funnel builder? Some details about that, and then we'll do just a little bit of looking around on what I use for a funnel builder so that you have some ideas of what that is and why it is that you need that. Okay, now the funnel is an analogy of what happens. It's a website or a series of web pages, maybe I should say, that is shaped like a funnel. It gets your leads coming in and directs them, qualifies them, that sort of thing, and leads them hopefully eventually to a sale at the end. It's something that's as the title of the video says, absolutely essential for having a good online business, having something that can happen, you know, relatively automatic. Got to build it in the first place, but then you can keep, keep your leads coming in, your prospects coming in, turning into leads and eventually sales. Okay, now a funnel builder is just something that makes this process easy. If you're not someone who likes to do HTML code and all of the different variations of that make a website look modern and professional in this day and age, you're going to need some sort of tool. And there are quite a few of them out there. There are even a few that claim to be free, but we'll talk about that when we look at the funnel builder, the one that I use. And I'll tell you why I recommend that one. But again, there are several that you can use. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at the funnel builder that I use. All right, now the funnel builder that I use is called ClickFunnels. And you can see here in the screen recording, you can see the page. All I've done is logged into my account, and then I've gone up here to the ClickFunnels menu and clicked on funnels, and this is what I get. This is my list of funnels here. Okay, so now if I'm wanting to build a new funnel, I will just click add new, and this is not a training step-by-step on how to do this. I just want you to see the features of ClickFunnels, why I like it, that sort of thing, the ease of use, just some of the things that you can do with it. Okay, so we're going to create a new funnel. Now you can use the cookbook process, but I usually just create a new funnel this way. Now, there are different types of funnels that you can build, but let's say we're going to use an opt-in type. We're going to collect emails. So we're going to choose this one, and we're going to give it a name. I'm just going to call it example 2. I've already done one of these. And you can put it in a group. If you have a group of funnels, you can a group of, fairly similar things that you were trying to do, you can put it in a group. We're not going to worry about that for this example here, and then you just click on build the funnel. And what comes up is a whole bunch of possibilities that you can use and modify. Okay, now this is one of the big reasons that I like ClickFunnels right here. All of these are used and tested and are very professional looking. Sometimes when I see people using other funnel builders, especially those that are completely free, this is not a hugely expensive tool here, software here, but you know, it costs you some monthly, but everything looks very professional. Okay, now you can look for one of these that looks something like what you want to do, but again, all of these are tried and for instance, I've used this one here, I've used this one here. You know, just looking down through these, look for something that looks kind of like what you're trying to do. Now you don't have to do exactly what's here. You can do lots of modifications on these, but look for something. You might like the colors, although you can change colors. You might be looking for something that has a video in it. This one here has a video. Now you're not stuck with that video. You can make your own video. Let's take a look at this one. I kind of like the looks of it. It looks very simple other than a background picture. Okay, nice background picture, but very simple. In fact, it doesn't even have the form here, so this means it's probably going to have a pop-up to fill in the email address. Okay, let's just go back, and there's the pop-up right there. Let's just go back and use this one. Okay, so we're going to select this as our template. All right, so that's loading in, and this is what it looks like when we edit it. And this is a funnel with a two-step, two-page. It's a two-step funnel. Okay, it's got an opt-in page, and then it's got a thank you page once they've opted in. Okay, so we're going to edit this page. And it takes a minute to load up that editor. All right, now this is not necessarily the headline that we want to use. We may not be doing a masterclass. Now you could click here, it'll turn blue, and then you could edit this if you want to. Let's just say free masterclass. Or let's say we like the rocket picture, but we don't even want it to say masterclass, okay? Since it doesn't quite say masterclass, I deleted one of the S's. I can delete that whole thing. Okay, so we could change that, or you know, if we weren't doing a masterclass, we could just delete it. And again, the same thing. If I click in that box, I can edit that text to say what I want it to say. Once I'm done with that, just click there, or I could delete it, or you know, there are lots of things that I can do. And again, we're not going to go over all of the details here. But let's say these things say what I want them to say. Now, I noticed something down here. It said featured in Forbes, and what does that say? Something Anthill. Not familiar with that. Oh, Australian Anthill entrepreneur. What I'm doing is not featured in those, let's say. And definitely don't put it there if it isn't, because you don't want if you're in the US, you don't want the FTC coming down on you, and I'm sure there are similar organizations in many countries. You don't want them coming down, so we're just going to delete that because we're not featured in those things. And it just makes that box smaller. Okay, makes it even simpler now. Now let's say we've changed our headline and our subheadline and that sort of thing to what we want it to be. So we click here, and then we should get that. Well, that's what that leads to, is the pop-up. You saw it earlier, but you get the idea. And these are some of the other things that we can, like our button should lead to. This button doesn't. It should lead to the pop-up, but we'll get to some button that will lead us to the right web page, so that you can point this at the right web page. And then you can also integrate it with your autoresponder and all sorts of things that you can do like that. Now, understand, like I say, this is not a training, but there's lots of training on the ClickFunnels site so that you can do that. In fact, I'll show you that in a minute. Okay? So let's say we've edited that. How we want to edit that, I'm just going to leave the page here. That's not going to save what I did, but let's look at the thank you page as well. Okay? And we have a bunch of choices on thank you pages. If you remember, the colors were red in that and a nice picture. We may want to try and find something in here that's close. But remember, we can change the colors, we can change the fonts, we can change everything. And again, lots and lots of choices. Okay? So we want to make something that's congruent with the message and the look of the other one, but if it isn't quite, you can change it. Although there's probably something in there that's going to be close. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that because I think you get the idea. All right, now let's also look up here at the help, because I want you to show you how much help there is to do this and why we really don't need to do training on this, because you've got ClickFunnels only their own training. So if we click on this area right here, you see all of these pages, account settings, different page types, different elements that you can put in them. I mean, you've got just about endless explanations of everything that needs to go on here. And you've also got live training that you can do. I mean, you can talk with someone and so on. You can have a conversation with someone there as well, if you need that kind of help. Okay, so that is ClickFunnels. And again, the reasons I like ClickFunnels: it's relatively affordable. It is very professional looking. It's one of the first ones recommended by most people out there. I'm sure if you're a huge business, it may not be the best for those people, but for the small business, for the individual who's trying to do something, I think it's considered the absolute best that there is out there. And it's easy to use, you know, very professional, like I said. You can adapt to just about anything you want to do. I have about, I don't know, 12 or 15 different pages out there that are working for me. Very reliable. Okay, now the other thing that you can do, they have a 14-day free trial. And I have a link below, the second link below, the one right below my 4-day course on how you can build that successful business. A link so that you can get that 14-day free trial. Okay, so that's ClickFunnels, that's funnel builders. Again, I'm not trying to get you to use any certain one. Use what works for you. I just wanted you to see that a funnel builder is essential for your online business, especially for the automation of it, so that you're not spending hours and hours and hours tracking down leads and trying to convert them into sales. You've got something that does that in a much more automated way for you. Okay, hope that's been helpful. Definitely consider giving me a like, comments, that sort of thing. You can subscribe to my channel, and that course at the bottom, that 4-day course on how you can build your own successful 6-figure online business. If that's something you're interested in, definitely check that out as well. I'm Daryl Ballard, and we'll see you in the next video.